Australia?
5:36.
That's crazy.
So this is going to be a pretty early dinner for H.
Yeah.
That's a little early.
12 hours too early.
Even earlier when she starts drinking the wine.
Yeah. What time is it everywhere else?
It's 6:30 in the evening for us in England.
Okay.
Which is a nice time.
Yeah, that is a nice time. Great.
And the fourth person that's joining, he's also back home in the UK. So, yeah.
Okay.
He's
great.
Mum and Dad are kind of making dinner, which works out nicely. For us,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm doing lunch, and then it's just my sister who's breakfast.
Just doing a little bit of early dinner or breakfast. Yeah. Wait, is it 5:30 in the morning?
Yeah, 5:30.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, thanks for getting up, but you'll have a nice hearty breakfast.
I'm gonna be hungry later.
So.
Okay.
All right.
My brother should join in a second.
Okay. No problem. Sorry if I have like cameras all over the place, and the camera that I'm looking at right now isn't my computer, and so if I'm like looking this way, I'm actually looking at my monitor, and then the other camera is my phone I have set up so I can kind of move it around so you can see what I'm doing more. So hopefully that works out. So yeah, but very exciting. Kind of give you a look at what I got here. Got all my mise en place ready to go. You can see I got camera and I moved my computer in here just so I can do all this. Got a whole like cooking demo studio going on. It's pretty exciting.
Nice. We're going to show you what ours looks like because it doesn't look quite as good, but
that's okay. I had to do this because I do like my live YouTube shows now with like I interview chefs from everywhere who will come on, and so my computer webcam is not very good, and so I wasn't getting good clarity and good lighting, and so I got this like really cool like cam link thing so I can connect any camera to my computer. Julie's camera that I'm using has a much better lens than my computer, so it's it's exciting, kind of having a whole production value thing going on. So
perfect.
All right, I think we got our last individual here. Bring him on. All right. Welcome.
Right. Hi.
Yeah, where you at?
I'm a little behind there.
Alex, this is my brother. He didn't get the memo about doing the prep, so he might be a little bit behind everyone else, but
okay.
He's got all the instructions, so if he gets behind, he's probably going to just shout some questions, but hopefully he can keep up.
Yeah, no problem. And if like for some reason with like the audio, if it's like kind of delaying, there is like a chat feature that I can see as well. So if you have a question and there's too much talking going on, like I'll be able to see it and then I can answer your questions if you don't want to try to like shout over everybody or whatever. So we do have that. But yeah, Mark, since you don't have the prep, I'm going to be holding you to a chef standard. So you better be fast with those cuts, man. we got to get service out, and we can't have any delays. So
Sounds good. I'm good at winging it.
That's fine. Most of the stuff's pretty rustic anyway, so it's not like you need a perfect dice or anything. So it's no problem. All right. Well, I guess we can get started if we're all ready.
Perfect. Yeah, maybe just double check one more time that Mum and Dad can hear everything okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good.
Cool. Great.
Okay. So you have to bear with me a little bit. It's my first time doing something like this, so hopefully it goes smoothly and everything comes out delicious for everybody. All right, so the first thing that we're actually going to do is take care of the mousse, just because we need that to set. And I went ahead and I kind of took care of some of the first steps, so I can kind of watch you guys to see how things need to be. So are we ready to go on the mousse? We have all of our ingredients ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So our first step is going to be to melt our chocolate and our butter together. You can do that over a double boiler. So if you have a pot of water on the stove and you can put it on a bowl. So kind of like I have this pot here, and you can fill that with water. You can bring that up to a boil, and you can put a pot on top of it like this. And then you can melt the chocolate like that, or you can put it in the microwave. That's okay too. You can just kind of keep an eye on it, keep stirring it. And if I'm going too fast, let me know.
Alex, did you say to put a bowl on top of it and melt the chocolate in there?
If you want to do that way, if you want to do it a little faster, if you have a microwave safe bowl, you can put your butter and chocolate in there and just put it in the microwave and set it for 15 seconds, 30 seconds at a time, and just kind of keep stirring it so it's well incorporated and mixed up, and you're not burning the butter or the chocolate.
Cool.
So sometimes the microwave is just a little more helpful in those situations.
You've really thrown us here, Alex.
What's that?
The one bit we have not really prepped at all for the mousse, because I was like, the mousse won't be for hours. So
I'm sorry. I should have laid out a better plan of the plan of action of what we're gonna do first and everything.
you're fine. It'll just take us a couple of seconds.
No problem. You guys are okay. Actually, if you guys want to keep working on that with melting the butter and the chocolate, my dog is whining. I gotta let him out very quickly, so I'll let you guys knock that out while I'm letting my dog out really fast.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, actually, you can probably work it out. You try that.
Maybe it's not yeah.
All right. Any questions so far? How are we doing on our butter chocolate?
Yeah, it's melting nicely.
All right. Great.
Melted.
Realize it's once. I could do that.
How you getting on that?
Yeah, pretty good. 106 ounces or 170 grams. That's what I've figured out so far. So, pretty ahead. I'd say there's a lot of
You
sauce.
just be stressed that one.
Doesn't it say the grams figure map?
No.
I think it was in ounces, the recipe.
Yeah.
Ounces. So yeah, 170. So that's pretty good.
Perfect. What is that?
It's just about done. Yeah.
It's doing a good start. Sure, it's got no.
There's no lumps. Smooth.
I'll bring it over here.
Coming along, Alex. Just a few more seconds, I reckon.
No problem. I'm sorry, was there a question? I misheard that. No.
I
You're on my head thing. My sister just said hi.
All right.
I'll just take my head thing off.
Right. Look, Rachel, lovely and smooth. Beautiful jobby.
Oh, well
All right,
done.
perfect. So with the chocolate, you're gonna let that just cool down just a little bit. You don't want to be too hot. And then you want to take your egg yolks that are separated from your whites and drop those into your chocolate one at a time and mixing that until it becomes a nice smooth paste. It's gonna look a little grainy and that's okay. But you're gonna know, don't make sure it's not too hot or else you'll scramble your eggs and that's not what you want. Just let it cool down just a little bit.
Okay.
And while that's happening, you can whip your egg whites. And so you're gonna whip your egg whites until they get really foamy, until it's pretty much white, but it's still very liquidy. And that's when you're gonna add in your cream of tartar, and then you're gonna continue to whip it. Does everyone have an electric mixer? Or are we doing this by hand? Someone's got a mixer. I hear a mixer going somewhere.
I think that must be my mum.
Okay.
We have like a
If you have like the egg beater, the automatic like egg beater, that's fine too.
Just roll with.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's
So I think there might still be some constant in there.
If you, oh yeah.
oh, we used white.
The yellow is supposed to be
Yeah. The egg yolks are going to go into the chocolate, but the whites are going to be what you whip.
Got ya. Thank you.
Our chocolate's still hot.
Okay, it can be a little hot. You just don't want it to be like steaming. I would let that sit while you're whipping your egg whites.
Okay.
And then by the time your egg whites are done, you can start adding the yolks.
Okay.
Perfect.
Do you want to show me what you have there?
The egg whites.
Okay.
Does that need to be more?
Yeah, so you're at a good point. Did you add your tartar yet? Your cream of tartar?
No. Shall I put
Okay,
that
so
on there?
you can add your cream of tartar now. Keep whipping it. And then you're going to slowly, a little bit at a time, add your sugar. You want your egg whites to be a nice soft peak. So they should be nice and fluffy, like this.
Right. Once the sugar's in and the
It's not really.
Let me do it.
it's going one at a time. So could you stir while I...
So get a second first.
Are you mixing your whites with a fork?
Yes.
That's
Is that
gonna
gonna
take a long. That's gonna take a long time. You want to get that into a bowl, and if you don't have an electric mixer, you're gonna need a whisk, and you're gonna have to like go really fast because you're trying to incorporate as much air as you can, so it gets nice and foamy.
Would a Vitamix work? Probably not.
Possibly. I've never done it in a Vitamix. I'm not sure you're gonna get enough airflow in there
Okay.
with a Vitamix because you're.
You'll have to do it with a fork, Chris, and whisk it up.
Yeah, I haven't got a whisk. Is my other issue, Alex.
Oh, okay. That's. You could do it. You could do it with a fork, possibly. It's good, but you're gonna have to put that in a bowl because you want to get like the circular motion, so you're whipping air into it.
I think we're
How are you doing, Ranch?
I'm sorry.
No, I was asking Rachel.
Oh, okay.
We're just whipping the egg white.
Is that
All right. Those are nice and foamy. Rachel, I don't know everyone's name, so I'm just gonna go. It's at the bottom. So those look good. Go ahead and add your cream of tartar when they're nice and foamy like that, and then keep whipping it. And then you're gonna slowly add in your sugar a little bit at a time. Like add a little bit, let it mix for maybe 30 seconds, add a little bit more until it comes together, and you're gonna see it stiffen up.
Right.
And then you want it to be nice and foamy and stuck.
Oh yeah, half of the cheese.
Much.
Here's the sugar.
Chris, it's gonna be tough for you guys to do this without a whisk or.
It's actually kind of working. I don't know if you can see this, but
Okay, yeah, all right. If it's working, go for it. Keep going. You can try it because with the whipped cream, it's kind of the same process. You just have to whip it until it forms whipped cream, basically. And it might work in the Vitamix too. I'm sure that would work as well. If the egg whites work, then your whipped cream will work as well.
we're just gonna put all the ingredients in the Vitamix and see what happens.
Don't put them together. Egg whites have to be separate. And then when your egg whites are nice and fluffy, like this, they kind of have like a soft peak to them. They still kind of jiggle. You're gonna set that aside, and then you're gonna do kind of the same process with your cream. You're gonna whip that until it kind of starts to come together just a little bit, and then you're gonna add your vanilla and your sugar, and you're gonna keep whipping it until it forms what looks like whipped cream. Don't go too far with it. If you like whip it too long, it's gonna break and it'll turn into butter, which is really good. It's a really easy way to make butter, but obviously it's not what we want right now.
Yeah. And whilst we've been doing this, so the chocolate, Alex, should we have added?
The chocolate, I believe the chocolate should be ready to add one yolk at a time, and just with a wooden spoon or a whisk or whatever you have, a spatula will work fine too. Whisk in one egg yolk at a time, and you're gonna get kind of like a grainy looking chocolate paste that kind of looks like this. Pretty stiff.
Okay, let's do that.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll put it in. Yeah.
Oh, it's still pretty bloody hot.
Yeah, I think it's 3 eggs. It was 3 egg yolks, right?
3 egg yolks, that is correct.
I can do it.
How many egg yolks?
This is
Egg yolks are in there.
Yeah,
Maybe 3.
3.
3 white.
I don't like it.
Is it a big?
All right, how we looking, everybody?
You're on mute.
How do I mute?
Are
Good.
you?
How do I unmute?
Looking good?
Oh, Chris, did you say that you're whisking your egg whites in a NutriBullet?
Yes.
And it worked. We're up to that bit. Sorry, I was a bit late. Somebody told me that this started at 7:30.
That was me. That was me. I told you that.
All right. Those, I think your egg whites look good.
Yeah.
Are they not? Are they stiff? Can you like pick it up?
Yeah,
It's like
mine's not very.
The
Mine's
dentist that needs to make the egg solid.
Yep, that looks good. That looks good. All right.
Mine isn't very stiff.
It's not very stiff. Then I would keep whisking it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you use a
Well, I
NutriBullet,
put the
it
sugar
work.
in already.
Didn't
You already
work.
put the sugar in?
Did
Yeah,
work.
well, it's-
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're done.
Just have it on really low.
No, we're done.
Have a high and a low.
You want to make sure there's no liquid egg whites at the bottom. If your egg whites are done, you want to follow that same process with your whipped cream. Have a different bowl. You want to keep this separate, and you want to get your cream in a bowl. Whip it until it starts to come together. Add your vanilla and your sugar, and keep whipping it until it gets the consistency of whipped cream.
Use it. Which cream was it? Was it double cream? to use? Or whipped
Yeah,
cream?
heavy cream,
Heavy cream.
double cream, heavy cream. Translation is different.
Yeah.
Alex,
Yes.
does this look okay from an egg white perspective?
No, you need that needs to be more. So it needs to be nice and thick. So you want it to be firm. See how it's staying on?
How much sugar?
Just keep going, Emma.
Heavy cream.
It takes a little bit to get enough air whipped into it.
And if you can, Emma, it might help to we kept the lid off the Vitamix, the NutriBullet. So keep the lid off, and I think that allows more air in.
Okay. Yeah.
You want more how basic NutriBullet than you.
If you're using the NutriBullet, because I know that's goes upside down, I think you just have to keep it going as best you can. I don't know what the settings are on that, but you do want it to be whipping pretty quickly.
We're on it.
So if you just want to let it go and just kind of hope for the best on that one. John, how are you guys doing?
Dad,
How are you guys doing?
I think we're okay.
All right.
Sorting the cream out.
Okay, great. So basically, once the cream's done, we're just gonna fold everything together, and then that's kind of it for the mousse.
Cool.
Okay, we're close to that. Right. Sugar was it? Yeah, with the egg whites, you need to make sure the sugar and the cream of tartar are in there. That's what kind of gets it to hold.
Quarter of a cup.
See, this I leave as it is at the moment. Right? I don't mix it with the top.
Just check.
We need to go back to where it says with the rights.
Mix it after it's not mixing.
I think I do add it to
Alex, do I add
Yes.
egg whites to the chocolate first, or do I wait to do the cream and the three together?
We're gonna be adding the egg whites first,
Right,
and then we're gonna be adding our whipped cream.
right, that's fine. Thank you. That's the serving food. I've got to say this one. It's slightly smaller than that. Then got one.
Do you want me to do something with that into the chocolate? Is that what it said?
Yeah, and the second. Need to do how much sugar was
Add the remaining 2 tablespoons of sugar and vanilla.
What do you think?
how much vanilla?
Just says the vanilla.
Mum, which bit are you at?
We're adding the vanilla to the cream.
Yeah.
Did you say me there, Chris, or Mum?
Mum.
So we're out ready to have it.
Yeah.
I feel in fact.
It was like whipped cream as soon as like I'd done the beating, but as soon as you added the sugar and everyone else, it's going on. Feel clean?
Definitely.
Mark, how did your egg whites come out? Did they come out okay in the bullet? No, they're not coming out okay. Yeah.
In another bowl, eat the heavy cream, not add the turmeric, sugar, holds medium peak. The peaks will slightly droop down, but will lose their shape and firing. Hold the whipped cream into the chocolate mood. Draw it fully incorporated.
Alex,
So this is kind of what you want your whipped cream to look like. Nice and fluffy, like a normal whipped cream.
Alex,
Yes.
I don't have an electric mixer, and it's not working by hand.
Whistling by hand is, you can do it. It takes a minute, and it's kind of difficult. You have to go very, very quickly. It's like. But, I mean, if you had a bowl like this, I mean, you have to kind of hold it and just go really, really, really fast. It's kind of a skill to learn. But you have to whip it very quickly and get enough air incorporated until it starts getting like fluffy. So it's a little tough. Yeah, if it's not working in the bullet, it might be kind of tricky. Rachel, how are you guys doing? Where are you on your? Is that the whipped cream?
This is the whipped cream, sugar, and the vanilla essence, but it doesn't seem to be consistency doesn't seem to be quite what we're after. No, I think we just see the white blob.
Just with
It looks like it's holding. I can't really. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
How does it taste?
Look like whipped cream.
How does it taste?
Over whipped it.
You may have over whipped it.
Maybe that's what we've done then.
I think that's what it might be.
You may have over whipped it.
Use a large. Can we resurrect it?
Or is it a case of go? That would be the try again.
It's not. Could we do anything with the apples or?
Possibly. I'm not a trained pastry chef, so desserts aren't necessarily my forte. I'm not sure how it would come out. It probably wouldn't be quite as sweet, but it might still hold okay. I know the whipped cream is kind of to lighten it up a little bit, and it's also to give it a little extra sweetness. So you could try it without it. Yeah, it looks like you made butter there. Looks like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks. You whipped it too far.
Too much.
And you made butter instead. If you have extra cream, you could try it again.
We've got.
Currently, only not quite got enough.
Yeah.
I'll see if they're open.
All right, how's everyone else doing? Where are we at?
We're looking pretty good, I think. I don't know.
Okay, have you started mixing all of your? Okay, so you went ahead. You put your.
Yes.
Did you put your egg whites in there? Okay. Do you have don't mix it like that. When you mix it, I didn't want anyone to go ahead here. So you need to take a rubber spatula and you have to fold it because that incorporates more air, so that way it's light and fluffy.
Okay.
I mean, it should still set and it should still taste okay, but you might not have that perfect, nice, light, fluffy mousse. So I'm gonna kind of adjust my camera here a little bit so I can show you guys what I'm doing.
And then
Okay, so I have my bowl of chocolate with my egg yolks and my whipped egg whites. So you want to take all of your egg whites, and then with a rubber spatula or a wooden spoon, you want to take it down the center and fold it over onto itself over and over. You can kind of every so often go around it, but you want to go up the center and fold it over until it starts to incorporate.
That's what we did.
Perfect.
Yeah, they don't have until 7. It's 40 minutes. 40.
We can't do that then.
And also,
Yeah, I haven't added any on the yolks.
I need to just get that because I've just seen it how he did it. No, it's not. Yeah.
It's not going to be as there.
You just want to keep folding it, keep mixing it until it gets nice and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Put some more egg yolk in.
And then once it's smooth, you can go ahead and add your whipped cream into it.
Yeah, okay.
So this is the consistency you're kind of looking for.
You just try using
Nice and smooth. When you fold it, you should kind of see some of those air pockets.
Okay.
I don't know if we use like
Yeah,
I use
I reckon it might be enough. Like that.
Half a cup, honey. That's not half a cup. It's
Oh, whatever. You want like 2 days.
Oh, yes, half a cup.
We can either use that or we can circle around and like, wait.
All right, how are we doing with the chocolate folding?
Going well.
All right, perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead now. I'm gonna take my whipped cream. I'm gonna fold that in the exact same way.
Okay. Exactly the same.
I think we might do that step later. We're going to have to buy some more whipped cream.
Okay, that's okay. No
The
problem.
mousse is looking really good. It's like a mousse.
Yeah, the chocolate looks good.
Nice.
Yeah. It's got lots of air in it.
That's good. That's good. That's important for a mousse. If it's got the air, the whipped cream is just kind of lighten it a little bit, give it a little more sweetness. And so that might set and be okay because you kind of have your egg whites and your chocolate. That's kind of the main components of mousse anyways. And then, so once you have everything mixed up and it's kind of looking like that, you can get your containers ready. If you want to do individual, you can put it in one big container. That's fine too. And just share out of it. Usually mousse is served individually. I'm using just some wine glasses from a baby shower that somebody gave to me, so it doesn't have to be anything fancy or anything like that. So you can take a spoon or whatever it'll fit into. So your mousse should kind of resemble like a frosting almost. See if I can get this in here without, that's too much. These are not the best cups that I have for doing mousse into. They look nice, but they're not the best because it's hard to get them actually in. And then so that's kind of what you're going for, is just kind of get it into it however much you want. And then you're going to put all these into the refrigerator. So that way in about an hour, or when we're done making dinner or breakfast or lunch, wherever we're at, it'll be ready to go. And you can top these with whatever you want. You can take some Cool Whip or some Ready Whip, extra chocolate, shavings, whatever you guys want. Top it with, and they'll be good to go. Mine are not very pretty.
Yeah.
Between the glass with the some paper towel.
But yeah, I think it's like
We do reckon we've got enough whipped cream. We're just going to try it one more time.
Have a second go.
Okay.
yeah.
Like it sounds like this, but
Okay, what I was thinking
I agree.
we're gonna stop at least
Hey, Alex.
All right. Yes.
We don't use the yolks at all for this anything at all, do we?
Oh, the yolks are supposed to go in with the chocolate.
Ah, okay. So, but we did all the whites, and then what stage do they go with the chocolate?
They were supposed to go in right after, not right after it was melted, but after, like before you added your egg whites to the chocolate.
Yeah, okay. We can still catch that train.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
So we've got another device, but it might be worth having the instructions kind of handy as well, just so that you can refer back to them if needed.
is that to us?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got them up on the screen. It's just trying to keep up with everything. It's a bit
Gotcha. Need a lot of this chocolate.
Very airy.
All right. How's everybody doing with the mousse?
Oh, it's looking good.
All right. Are we ready to move on to our next dish?
Wow.
Yeah.
I think
Just washing those things up.
yeah, we're good.
I'm going to put them in, but,
Yeah, good because one person can definitely move on.
Okay, so we're gonna get our soup started now. And all you need to do for that is get your soup pan, get it turned on to a medium to low heat. And then you want to get all your veggies out and ready, your carrots, your onions, the fennel.
Wow. That would probably be better.
Yeah.
How chopped up do you usually use the eggplant?
The eggplant, it doesn't have to be. So, well, I went to the store this morning. They didn't have eggplant, so I have to use zucchini. So, like, this is the size that I did.
Yep. Okay. So about.
And it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything. If the size will just depend on how long they need to cook for. If they're really small, they don't have to cook for as long. Obviously, if they're bigger, they'll take a little bit longer. So, however you want to cut them, nice rough chop, it'll be okay. But we don't need the eggplant quite yet. The eggplant is for something else. So right now you need your carrots, your fennel, and your onion.
Carrot, fennel, onion. Yeah.
And then once your pot is a little warm, you want to take some any kind of oil. If you have olive oil, that works. This is just some like neutral. I think it's this peanut oil. Turn around. Just a little bit of oil in the pan.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna give it a swirl. So you don't want this to be too hot. If it's smoking, it's way too hot. You want a nice medium to low heat. We just want to sweat our vegetables a little bit. We're not trying to saute them. We don't want any color. We just want to bring out all those flavors and sweat them a little bit. So just let me know when your pans are a little warm and you have your oil in the pan.
Our saucepan's ready to go when you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As well.
Are we ready to go? Okay, so the first thing we're going to add is our carrots. So I have some carrots here. I also had some celery just because I had some in my fridge and I want to use it. So you're going to take your carrots and you're going to add to your pan. You just want to take a small pinch of salt and just give it a stir. You're just going to let those hang out for a little bit. You just want to let those cook for about a minute.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add our onions.
Okay.
And again, you just want to add just another little pinch of salt. You want to make sure everything's getting nicely seasoned, bring out all the flavors. If your pan looks a little dry, you can add a little bit more oil. That's okay.
No, we put the onions into them.
The onions have to go first. It's the carrots that should go
And it's okay if you add something before the other. Luckily, this is soup. It's going to go in a broth. It's going to cook for a while, so you don't have to really worry about your vegetables not cooking all the way. The whole point of this process is just to make them as flavorful as possible by drawing out a lot of their liquid, and we're kind of replacing it with salt, and so it'll taste a lot better. It'll have a much brighter flavor of the actual vegetable.
Yeah.
get to add some.
See how all those little bits. What was the other ones?
Mum, how are you getting on?
Yeah, we're okay.
We're fine.
You're good?
Are you using
All right.
fennel, Christopher?
Say again.
Yep, I have that.
Are
Oh, sorry,
you
third
using fennel?
I'm not using fennel. No, I couldn't get any fennel.
We're using fennel.
Are you? I've never used fennel. What does fennel look like?
Once it was cut
Fennel?
up,
I didn't know what fennel was. Yeah.
we bought like the fennel bulbs and then just chopped the bulb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
They're kind of white. They have like big green tops on them as well. If you have fennel, you can go ahead and add that now. And just make sure all your vegetables are in your pot, except for the kale. Don't add that yet.
Okay.
Right.
And we've not added the pancetta yet, right, Alex?
You can add that. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not using pancetta in this one. Mine's going to be no pancetta for mine. But
Sure.
yeah, go ahead and add your pancetta. Get that fat coming out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
And you want to slowly start turning up your heat. You don't want it super hot yet, but just kind of because as you add vegetables, your pan's going to cool off. So you want to kind of slowly start turning up that heat just a little bit. You want to hear the sizzle, but don't get any browning or color on them. Okay.
Garlic, 1 penny.
No brown and no color.
Garlic, salt, pepper,
You want your onions, and if you're using fennel, to kind of be translucent. You want them to like lose their. You should like kind of be able to see through them. They should be translucent, opaque.
Okay.
In color. At this point, you should really be able to smell all those vegetables in there. The aroma should really be coming out of the pan at this point. Oh, great.
Alex, have we added the garlic?
Yes. The garlic? No, we haven't added the garlic yet.
Good.
You can actually go ahead and add that now. Let me know if I'm going too fast for anybody. And if there's a spare person to start a pot of water so you can kind of get your water going for our pasta later, you should get a pot of water going on the stove and just kind of, you don't want it boiling yet, but just kind of get it hot so that way when we need it, you can crank up the heat and get it boiling really fast.
That water, Alex, would you salt it or would you just have water for the pasta?
You want to wait until it's actually boiling before you add your salt, because if you add the salt before you boil it and then you're not ready for it, as that water reduces, it's going to become way, way, way saltier. So you just want to wait until it actually comes up to a boil before you add your salt.
Perfect. Makes sense.
And at this point, also, if you want to add any of the seasonings, so I know with the recipe it calls for like crushed red pepper. I'm also throwing some smoked paprika in there. So this is kind of just a baseline soup recipe, and you can kind of flavor it however you like. So if you have any spices that you want to use that you think will taste good, go ahead and throw them in. I'm going to use some freshly ground black pepper, crushed red pepper, and some paprika, and you can go ahead and add that now. Kind of saute that flavor in there. It brings out the spices just a little bit more.
Alex, we have a question.
Yes.
We don't have crushed red pepper, but we have chipotle chili crushed. Would that be something?
You have what do you have?
Chipotle chili.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. By this point, your pan should be decently hot when you add those spices, and you should start to see some stuff stick on the bottom, which is okay.
Alex,
Yes.
chocolate mousse.
What's up?
Chocolate mousse, look at
Wait, what is that? Oh, that looks great. That looks great. The chocolate.
that. We are all
Yeah,
over.
that looks good.
Just to let you know, we're really on track. Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, so you see how I got some stuff stuck at the bottom of my pan here? Because I have it nice and hot. When you have something like that, when you have that, that's when you want to add your kale.
Yeah.
Or whatever leafy green you're using. Add that all in.
Alex, have you put the tomatoes in?
Not yet. We're not doing the tomatoes yet.
Okay. So add the green vegetable into the dry.
Add it into the dry pan, and then you're going to take your wine, and you want to deglaze the pan with your wine while it's really hot. And take your spoon, and you want to kind of clean off the bottom of your pan. And you want to let that wine reduce a little bit. You don't want it to go until it's dry. But you just want to cook the alcohol out. So I still have some. See how that wine's cooking down? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Splash.
You want to cook that down. You can be generous with that splash. It's okay. So you're gonna have a decent amount of liquid in there.
And that liquid is just wine, right?
That's just wine. So you just want to cook out the alcohol and get all that good flavor. And so you want to cook it down until it's kind of glazy. It's like really bubbling hard. And then by that point, you're going to add your stock, whatever you're using, chicken stock, vegetable stock. I'm using a beef bone broth, but whatever you have is fine. And then you're going to go ahead and add that to your soup.
The big thing is you'll be alright.
And then you want to, when you add your stock or your broth, you want to bring that up to a boil, and then you're going to turn it down and let it simmer. And we're just going to let that cook. And so by the time we're done with everything else, we're going to have an awesome pot of soup.
And just to clarify, Alex, so it was vegetables, then the wine, and then after the wine, the stock.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
When do the tomatoes go in?
After it comes up to a boil, we're gonna drop it down to a simmer, and then we're gonna add our tomatoes. And then if you have it, if you have the Parmesan cheese rinds,
Right.
like these guys, you can throw that in as well at that point. It'll make it nice and creamy, kind of give it a cheesy flavor without actually having to add cheese and get it all sticky.
Okay.
On the topic of wine, Alex, we've opened the bottle of white that you recommended, and it's great. So thank you.
Oh, great. Good. Yeah. I actually had some help with the wine pairings. I'm not a wine expert yet, and so I had to do some external help with that one. But they usually help me out with it, and they have great recommendations. So
Nice.
I'll let them know that you guys liking them. So that's good.
I'm glad you gave us permission to open the wine up, Chris. Thanks.
I was gonna say you pre-tried it, Chris. Pre-tried what?
Me and Kendall are cooking together. The only way to get through it is alcohol.
Okay, so if we're waiting for our soup to boil, let's go ahead and get our pesto made so we can get the bread going, or we can at least just get the pesto mixed up. And pretty much with pesto, you just put everything into a blender and just blend it up. And then season it with salt if you think it needs maybe more pepper. If you want a little looser, add a little bit more oil. Since it's kind of more of a loose dipping sauce, and we're going to be adding extra olive oil and the balsamic vinegar to it anyways, it'll be okay if it's a little thick. So
Okay.
I have my blender top here. Throw my basil in there.
Fast when it looks it's small. Yeah, I know, I'm just pretending. Yeah, so that's doing close.
Add the tomatoes and take them to the simmer. Okay.
I'm making your
So, Alex, what are you doing now?
So I didn't add enough garlic into my soup, so I'm chopping up some more for my soup. But I am getting the pesto.
And
made.
so with the pesto, do we toast the pine?
You can if you want to, and you can do that quickly in like a non-stick pan on the stovetop with a little bit of oil and salt. But you can just throw them in if they're not toasted already.
Okay.
I have some toasted ones here, but
Cool. Okay. Yeah. If you don't think it needs to be toasted, then we'll just kind of leave that step out.
it adds like a little more depth of flavor, but it's not completely necessary.
Sure. Okay. And then just to kind of go backwards to the start of the pesto, so you added the basil and the garlic.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much it. Yep, everything can be thrown into it. So I'm just putting the garlic in, putting my cheese in,
Okay.
my pine nuts. I'm gonna have a pinch of salt, and then my olive oil.
pine. Yeah, some of them are pine nuts.
Yeah, they're almost done.
I've just got this in this.
Virgin olive oil. Wow.
All right, so if your soup has come to a boil and it's kind of looking like that, you can go ahead and turn the heat down to a low, just so it's nice and simmering. And you can go ahead and add your tomatoes. And then you can also add your white beans. Just give that a mix.
Alex, we just missed that. Was that once the soup is boiling, bring it down to a simmer and add the tomatoes and the beans?
Yep, and then just give it a stir, and then you can cover it. Maybe leave, depending on how hot your stoves get, maybe vent it just a little bit, just so it doesn't boil over. Even on a low heat, it can sometimes boil over if you cover it. But you don't have to cover it. If you want to keep an eye on it, just make sure it's simmering. Kind of give it a stir every so often. In maybe 15 minutes or so, we can kind of give it a taste and make sure it's seasoned well.
Sure.
The beans go in the soup as well. Right. So I'm going to do some creative. Yeah.
Would you have to use this one with the food?
And then also with your soup, if you happen to have the Parmesan cheese rinds like this, you can go ahead and throw that in as well. If you bought like pre-grated Parmesan cheese, that's fine, and you won't have this. But if you bought like a hunk of a wheel of Parmesan cheese, you'll have the rinds, and this just adds really nice flavor. If you cook it long enough, you can actually eat these. They're like kind of a soft, chewy thing. If not, it's a rind, so it's kind of tough, but it adds nice flavor to any kind of soup, or even like a marinara sauce if you don't throw them in there. They're just add a really nice flavor.
Have you made the mousse yet, Mark?
Yeah, mousse is all in. It's done. Looks really good. We've got tomatoes and kale in the soup, which looks good.
Okay, great. How are we on pesto? Are we making pesto yet?
Yeah, we just started on that, making good progress.
Okay.
I just my pine nuts out.
So if the pesto Once the pesto is ready, you can kind of set that aside, and then we'll start working on our bread.
Yeah. I think that's it, yeah.
So this is kind of what you're looking for. As far as your pesto, if it's looser than this, like that's okay. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Focus here. If it's loose, it's okay. That's not a problem. If it's really chunky, that's okay. It's kind of up to however you want it. As long as it tastes good. So you just nice and green. If it needs more salt, you can add it. We're gonna be loosening this up anyways with a little extra olive oil and balsamic vinegar. So if it's already loose, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the bread, Alex, I'm not sure what everyone else did in the end. So we just bought some bread.
Bought some bread? Okay.
And then it might be that my parents have pre-made the bread. I don't know. What did you do, Mum?
No, we ran out of time, but we bought some bread to dip.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, then I will skip this part. Then we don't have to worry about the bread. Well, if you did make dough, this is kind of what it looks like. And from this point, if you do want to make the bread, all you have to do is roll it out into a nice cylinder, or not cylinder, yeah, into a roll, kind of like this, kind of fighting me. And then you just kind of cut off pieces. And then you can flatten it out however you like, however big or small you want it to be. Just make it nice and flat. And then you just cook it in a hot pan with some olive oil. And then that's really small, but it would, and then you just take it and dip it in your pesto, and it's pretty nice. So, but if everyone bought bread, you can toast it however you like. And then with the pesto, what I like to do, if you have a small plate, you can take a spoonful of your pesto, get a little extra olive oil, and some balsamic vinegar. And then from this point, you can just take your bread, swirl it up, and just eat it. It's a nice little snack while you're sipping on some wine and cooking dinner. So,
perfect.
Very simple. Yeah.
That's definitely our plan, to start eating that while we cook the rest.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm gonna have to make myself some bread so I can have a snack. Did everyone, I don't know if everyone just had it separate, or so like the sauce for the eggplant. So I went ahead and already you just have to mix everything up together and it makes a nice little marinade. So that will kind of be our next step here. So if you want to get everything ready for the sauce for our eggplant.
Okay.
Well, I cut it.
1 inch.
A little bit
So you're down on the.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
I'll test this one.
Does everyone have their ovens on? 400 degrees? Or sorry, I we do Fahrenheit here, so I'm sorry if it's. I don't know what that is in Celsius. For everyone else who is using metrics the smart way.
Yeah, I told you should do it yourself. So you give it a try. I like it.
Hey, so I'm just putting these notes.
All right, how are we doing on our eggplant here for me squash?
We are. Kendall is kind of just making the sauce now.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Sticks, very good.
Good. Don't be afraid to give it a taste every so often, just to make sure if it needs some salt or pepper or maybe more spice if you like that, whatever you guys want. It's always good to keep tasting your food while it's cooking. Make sure it's coming out exactly how you want it. So this is kind of like what your bread would look like. I didn't get a lot of color on it, but if you did it yourself, it'd be kind of like this. Nice little crust on the outside with kind of nice and chewy on the inside.
Nice.
Ooh, that's hot. Very hot. Delicious.
Chocolate sauce. Yeah,
All right, while we're doing the sauce for our eggplant, if you want to get a nice kind of heavy pot, something like this. I promise this isn't dirty, it's just stains over years of use, but And we can start getting that on a low heat because we're gonna put in our other pancetta for our carbonara.
Okay.
I'll focus on the sauce.
Just do some sauce. We will make a big one because we're making a whole carbonara.
How are we doing on our eggplant sauce?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the sauce.
Yeah, it's cool for the.
All right. Does everyone have water going? Did we lose somebody?
Oh.
Did I lose someone? Oh, that was me. That was my other camera. I think I lost power. Yeah, my other camera died, so I'm sorry about that.
I put the lemon in here.
So if your sauce is ready and your eggplant is cut, you can just go ahead and add everything. Add everything to your bowl, to your veggies here. And just stir it all up, make sure they all get nice and coated.
What do we do with the garlic in the eggplant dish, Alex?
The eggplant, that can go into, it can either go right into the marinade, or you can, like, if you chopped it up, that can just be tossed in everything and mix it all up.
Perfect. I'll put it in the marinade. Yeah.
Also, if you happen to have a microplane like this, it's really great for garlic, so you don't have to chop it, and you can just kind of, if you have a little piece of garlic, you can just kind of shred it. And so you get a nice little like garlic paste, and it's just a lot easier than trying to chop it all.
Yeah.
But whatever you have works fine.
Cool.
So yeah, that can just be tossed in with your eggplant there. And then if you have everything tossed together, you want to have your baking sheet either with some parchment or some foil, just something so you don't like destroy your pan and have to scrub it for hours. If you don't have parchment or foil, that's okay. It just might be a little more tricky cleaning it later, but And you just want to pour everything on there. And you're going to have some liquid left over. That's okay.
I got bread.
I read it.
And then make sure it's a nice even layer. You don't want to crowd your pan too much. You want to make sure all the heat is getting to each individual eggplant perfectly. And you get nice color all the way around. And so if you have your oven ready at 400 degrees, you can go ahead and put it in. And I believe the recipe said for about 10, 15 minutes, but it's really until it gets some color, it's actually cooked all the way through, depending on how strong your ovens may be. Mine's like really weak, so I have to probably cook mine a little bit longer. So it's just something you want to keep an eye on. If it's getting some good color, if you're actually using eggplant, it's going to be really, really soft, and that's okay. But if it's like way, way too soft and it's like kind of melting in the oven, it's probably cooked a little too long. So you want to just keep an eye on it. Every couple minutes, just kind of give it a look, give it a feel. If it smashes really easy with a fork, it's definitely done. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in my oven.
Like this, yeah? It smells good.
All right, do we have our eggplant in the oven yet? How are we looking on that?
We're just putting ours onto the pan.
Okay, perfect. So if that's going, if your bigger pot, sorry, I'm gonna try to move my camera here. My other one fell apart on me. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you should have a pot of water going for our pasta, and then you want another pot that's on low heat that we're gonna cook our pancetta in. And it's kind of a two-pot deal, so we're gonna cook the pasta in there, and the pasta is gonna transfer right from the water into the pot.
Alex, it might be worth just thinking, just making sure everyone's kind of at the same point. Mum, how are you getting on?
We're fine. We're ready to do the carbonara.
Cool, okay.
All right.
Rach, what about you?
We are literally just putting the aubergine on the baking tray.
Perfect.
Okay.
And then, Mark, what's going on with you?
The mousse is looking so good. Alex.
You're still on the mousse? Everybody ready to go on the carbonara?
Yeah, we just were wondering, so
Okay.
with the pancetta, is it going to be big enough to just do it in this, or did you say you need to put the pasta in it? So should we use more of a casserole dish?
You need more of a casserole dish. So the way with carbonara, when it works, as soon as we put in our pasta in the pan and we're gonna put our eggs and everything in it, and it's kind of like an emulsion, so you have to stir it really quickly, and that's what makes it really creamy. It infuses like the water and the egg yolks and the cheese, and it just makes a really creamy sauce all at once. So it's kind of like once your pasta's done, it's kind of a quick process. You kind of put that in, eggs and cheese, and you stir it, and then it's pretty much done. And it's just so it takes a little finesse in the beginning, but you definitely want a nice deep pot, something that's got a lot of room so you can stir it.
Yeah, cool. We've got that.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my pancetta. I'm actually using guanciale because I had some in the house, but you're gonna take that, add that to your pan. And this is, you wanna have it on a lower heat, because in the beginning we're trying to just melt all that fat off of the meat itself. We will eventually have it nice and brown and crispy, but in the beginning, we just want to render all the fat off the meat. We just want all that delicious fat to go into our pasta. can add a little bit of oil as well to your pancetta or whatever meat you're using. You can add a little bit of oil to it just to kind of facilitate that rendering. All right, are we ready for the next step of the carbonara?
1 second.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry, we're just slightly behind as well.
You guys are fine. We're moving at a good pace.
We got preoccupied with trying to eat the pesto.
Yeah.
I understand.
Salt, oil, 3 large egg yolks, 1 egg, then those rigatoni on veggie.
So before you do your eggs, make sure you get that pancetta in the pan. You want to start rendering that fat as soon as possible.
Yeah, we've got that.
Okay. But once you do have your pancetta going, all the eggs, so your 4 egg yolks and the 2 whole eggs, I believe. I got that right? Yeah, so you're going to take all those eggs, the 4 egg yolks and 2 whole eggs, and you're just going to whisk those all together until you get a nice scrambled egg looking mixture.
Really? I thought I saw you do it. Put your hand up here, there. Okay, turn it on, I think. Can you go to that?
Is that the kit?
Okay.
Yeah. Are we getting into it occasionally?
You said actually what's on that one.
Yeah, the oil in there.
All right, how's everybody doing?
We're just working on the eggs.
Okay, great.
Alex,
Yes.
we have got slightly behind, so where we are now, just I think the
It has the cheese as well, 3/4 of the
we've made the marinade and that's going in the oven. And
Okay.
we've got all the for the pesto. I'm just waiting for my nuts to cool down before I whiz it.
So
Okay.
How far ahead are you guys?
it's a
If you put your pine nuts can be hot when they go in, that's okay. It's not going to hurt it. You don't really need to wait for them to cool down. It'll be okay.
Are you guys really far ahead of where we are?
Sorry, I missed a little bit of where you are, Emma, but we've just started making the carbonara.
Okay, so I think we're ready to make the carbonara now.
Perfect.
We're not.
Okay, so if you're ready for the carbonara, just get like your deeper pot like this, something a little bit bigger. And then you want to put that on a medium to low heat and then put your pancetta into that. And you want to start rendering that fat out, add a little bit of olive oil in there. And it should be, let's see if I can, you want it to kind of like slowly start browning. You're trying to melt all the fat off your pancetta. You can kind of see that. Kind of slowly browning it, slowly cooking it. It should be nice and fatty, nice and greasy in there.
Okay, fine.
There's this. Yes. This is 5 minutes.
With this?
Yeah, like a scrambled egg.
Okay, and about 3 cloves each of Parmesan and pecorino in a medium bowl with egg yolk.
So 3/4 is what egg?
Oh.
You have any questions, Chris? You guys look confused.
Oh no, we're just trying to work out. We were looking at the next step, which is to add the cheese to the egg.
Do you want us to do that yet?
And we were trying to work out what 3/4 of 1/3 of a cup is. And suddenly our maths was deserting us.
This is where the American system of measurement just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Metrics is way better.
Agreed.
Yeah, it definitely is.
We just used the 3rd cup, Chris, and then 3/4.
So I have 2 ounces of cheese here, and that's going to go into my egg mixture. The other cheese is just to top the carbonara once it comes out.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
And then 3/4
Okay, that's done. Pancetta
Over here.
is smelling good.
Well and truly.
Great.
Oh no, well that will be what goes on top.
This is peppercorn. Picture peppercorn.
Look, it's really
You spoke clean.
Yeah, it's on the Pancetta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was it.
So if you guys have your cheese and your eggs ready,
Yep.
your cheese can just go right into your eggs.
perfect.
Yeah. Done that.
And then you want also in there, you want like a pretty good amount of like ground black pepper. So it doesn't have to be, I know it says like a specific amount, but it doesn't really need to be 100%. Just if you do have a grinder, a decent amount. The pepper gives, so carbonara is very rich and it's kind of salty because you got the pancetta, the saltiness from the Parmesan and the pecorino. And so your pepper kind of cuts all that with a little bit of that spice. And so you need a healthy amount of pepper in there. And so yeah, you're just kind of looking for a pretty nice liquidy sauce thing here with cheese, black pepper, and your egg yolks.
How can you cook to the pancetta to be?
So you want to cook it slowly, but it should, by the time it's done cooking and rendering, you want it to look like, I don't want to say bacon bits, but it should look like a nice cooked piece of bacon, like a nice golden brown on there, basically. Nice and crunchy looking on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty crunchy. Looks great.
And you probably will eventually. You're going to have to start slowly turning up the heat on your pancetta to kind of get that browning effect.
No, that's the same with a circulation.
So, how's everybody doing on the carbonara? We have our pancetta. Everybody got the pancetta going?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So when your pancetta is about halfway there, so when it like just slowly starts to get some color. Let's see if I got so. Mine still got about a minute or so before it's ready. When your pancetta is about halfway done, that's when you want to put your pasta in the water.
Okay.
Needs boil is still dry. Oh, you have. Sorry. Oh, it's just big one.
It says 4 minutes left in the pasta. So pasta as well. So put it on.
4 minutes less.
Mine is 7 and 7. 26.
5
All right, so you kind of see how I got some good color going on there. It's getting a little smoky. It's nice and fatty. I'm going to go ahead and drop my pasta now because this is at a good point. We're getting a lot of good fat in there, and my pancetta is starting to get a little crunchy looking, getting some good color.
We've also just put our pasta on.
Yeah, and we've put our pasta on as well.
Okay, great. And don't forget to season your pasta water. You want to put a decent amount of salt in your pasta water.
Yeah.
Are everyone's aubergines still in the oven?
I'm sorry?
Is everyone's aubergine still in the oven?
Yeah.
Mine is. Mine definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours is still in.
And if you feel like your pancetta is almost done and it's not going to time up right, just turn it way down and it'll be okay. We're going to have to turn it down anyways because we don't want to scramble our eggs.
Yeah.
But if you feel like your pancetta is going to burn, just turn off the heat, remove it, and we'll bring it back to the stove when it's ready.
Yeah, we had to do that. Ours was kind of definitely ahead of yours.
That's okay. That's okay. Mine's I probably didn't drop my pasta early enough either, so I got my heat turned down as well, so it's okay. Just want to make sure they're nice and crispy, because if you don't get your pancetta or whatever pork product you're using to be like crunchy enough, it's just going to be really chewy when you go to eat it, so it won't be as pleasant. So you just want to be melts in your mouth is what you're looking for. So while we're kind of waiting for everything to kind of come to a conclusion, when your eggplant does come out, you want to make sure you have a bowl ready. You want to make sure you have your goat cheese or whatever you're using, your almonds. You want all that ready to go, like your lemon juice and soy sauce.
Yep.
You want to have all that ready because once your eggplant comes out, you want to toss all that stuff in and keep it mixing. The heat's going to kind of emulse everything together and kind of create, it's going to like kind of sauce itself. And then very lastly, you'll add in just a rough cut of parsley. Doesn't have to be anything You don't want to chop it too much, just a quick run through with the knife once or twice. And you can toss it in, add some nice freshness to it. You should never chop your herbs on your cutting board too much. The more you cut it, the more you're flavoring your cutting board and you're losing it from the actual herb.
I think it's later.
Just pasta dish.
Yeah, just kind of get in.
A little bit of
Also, when your pasta is done, don't dump the water out. We're going to need some of that water. That helps with the sauce as well. So if you can strain out your pasta without actually dumping out the water, that would be great. How did everyone's pesto and bread taste?
Great.
It was good?
Yeah, fantastic.
Awesome. Nice little snack.
It looks good. Really good.
And if it's possible, you want to try to have your pasta pot as close as possible to the pot with the pancetta in it, because you're going to be going right from the one pot to the other. And obviously, the closer they are, the less mess you're going to make.
And so you want the pasta pot to not have water in, right? By the end?
You just want the pasta pot? No, you want to have water in it.
Okay. So
the water is going to be needed for the carbonara. Not like all of it, but you want that splash of that water. It kind of helps with the emulsion of all the eggs and the fat and everything.
So kind of when you're transferring it from one to the other, you want it to
I'm going to be using what you have is perfect. You just want to take it out and dump it right into the pot.
Yeah.
And that excess water is going to help make your sauce really creamy and everything. So if you have a strainer or something to kind of get your pasta out, is perfect. Or even tongs work, a slotted spoon.
He's done with that. Did you then leave these ingredients?
I think you should have.
But that's the thing, that's what I'm saying. This
So this is kind of what you, oh gosh, I dropped it. This is kind of what you want your pancetta to look like. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
Nice and crispy. Looks like a little piece of bacon. That's what you want.
Nice.
Sorry?
Our pasta is about done now.
Okay, so if your pasta is done, you're a little ahead of me, and that's okay. So what you want to do with your pasta, make sure your pan with your pancetta, whichever is in front, however you have it, you want to make sure that's turned down to as low as your stove will go.
Yeah.
And then you're going to want to add all of your pasta, strain it out as best you can, and throw it right into the pan. And as soon as you do that, you want to throw in your egg and cheese mixture and just move it around with a wooden spoon as fast as you can. And that creates your sauce. And if it's a little too thick, add a little bit more of that pasta water. I think I'm almost there on my pasta. Not quite.
It feels like it's doing this.
Oh, I was actually going to put it in. Oh, yeah.
So pick it up, you can up and down.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is,
Oh, the other about the eggplant.
All right, I have about a minute or two on my pasta. But like I said, if you're ready, you gotta move kind of quick with this one. You want to get all your pasta into your pot, pour in your egg and cheese mixture, and just start moving it around as fast as you can. If it starts getting a little thick, you can add a little more of your pasta water.
Mum, how are you getting on?
Sorry?
How are you getting on?
We're fine.
We think we're fine.
So, which bit are you at, Mum?
We've got the pasta.
I think so, yeah.
Putting the egg yolk in.
So you're just mixing it all together now?
Yeah.
You're putting your pasta in with the pancetta?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the egg yolk to add.
Yeah, and then you wanna stir it up really quickly.
And use a little bit of the pasta water to stir it more.
Yeah, it's the next. Maybe another one.
It's mustard creamy.
I know you said live, but this one's really yes, I'll just put it on the low one.
All right, my pasta is ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and add all my stuff.
Oh yeah, so he definitely has some water with him.
So I got my pasta going in. You should hear a nice sizzle from the fat. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in my egg and cheese mixture. Keep mixing. That's cool.
Yeah, it's one more.
Good. Mine's a little thick, so I'm going to add some more pasta water here. All right, after you stir it, it should kind of look like this, nice and cheesy. Kind of look like mac and cheese a little bit.
Perfect.
yeah.
And
That's
do
what
we,
you're going for.
do we want any temperature on at that point, Alex, or not?
You have it on low because you still have to make sure the eggs get cooked, but you don't want it cranking too hot or else you're just gonna like scramble your eggs and you won't get that nice emulsification.
Yeah.
So, and after that point, that is pretty much done.
Yeah, I think like,
So my squash are done. Forgot to move the camera. So I'm taking those out as well. I'm gonna put those right into my bowl.
yeah.
Oh, you said
See, actually now. That is just a good call. So you can measure the machine amount.
Well, I looked at it and I saw that color from my building that I was producing. I can't do them separate. I started
Right. I like the stick.
Very good.
one, two.
One of these.
That
What do you
is the soy.
Funny, whenever I say something like, you could measure everything. I think it's alright. I live.
You're right. I'm gonna measure.
Is that it? Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really.
Getting everything together.
How's everybody looking?
Good. I think I'll
I think we're doing okay. I think our carbonara may have turned into a bit of scrambled egg.
No,
but
it's good. It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Come back.
We've resurrected it.
Resurrected it.
Maybe we can put some water.
The eggplant looks great.
What's that?
The eggplant looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's really tasty. So yeah, when it comes out, just throw all your cheese, your nuts, and lemon juice and soy sauce together in a bowl. So you just want to like kind of mix it all together, have a nice creamy looking sauce here.
So does the goat's cheese melt a bit there, does it?
It's gonna melt a little bit, and that's okay. It's gonna kind of emulsify the dressings and everything, so it's more together. So it's not just really this runny mess.
Right, okay.
And then when your carbonara comes out, if you want to dust a little more cheese on top, grate some more pepper, you can.
Should we dish up anything?
Rex, where are you at?
I think we're pretty much finished.
Okay, when then cheese in with some egg. What are you doing?
So you're doing what, mate?
We've got the parmesan and the other cheese, and then we've mixed it in with some egg.
Okay, yeah. So have you made your pasta and stuff?
Yeah.
No, what do we do with that?
Okay, so once how's your pancetta looking, your bacon?
Really good. That's done.
Okay, so yeah, you want to start making your pasta.
Yeah. Put it on.
Yeah, you want to put your pasta on.
Yeah, it's doing that now. It's going on. How many got the pasta on it?
See.
They're putting it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Is that going in the bottom? I wonder what the little
Yeah, that's best.
What are we going to put the eggs on?
we are all set. We're just adding a little bit more oil to the pesto, and then we're done. Dished out. All good.
All right.
You going to have it for breakfast then, Rachel? Are you going to have it for breakfast, Rachel? Can you hear me?
I will.
A mouthful of each. So should we try and show them? How do they shoot?
What have we moved? All this shape.
Oh, I very
Very good. Yeah, we're just about to show you ours.
Great.
Oh, hang on.
Looks great.
It's our pesto, and then the aubergine salad. Looks amazing. Tuscan beans,
Yeah.
and then our carbonara.
Looks very good.
Very good.
Stick.
Looks great.
How you getting on, Chris and Kendall?
We are just dishing up, but Kendall's not happy about the number of bowls and plates I have in my apartment. So
Well, I think we've also used like every bowl and plate about 3
Of
times.
course, but yeah, we're washing up as we went along.
I only have 2 bowls. We've had to wash them up 4 times.
Oh, no.
Mum, how's yours looking?
Ours was looking great. We haven't presented it.
Chris, you have to just present it in Tupperware.
No, I've got it. Don't worry. I've got. I was exaggerating slightly. I've got 4 bowls. So we've got 2 for the carbonara
That's funny.
and the soup.
There you go. How's everybody else come out? Mark, did your guys' come out okay?
Yeah. Rachel's was lovely, wasn't it, Rach?
Yeah, ours looks really good. Yeah, it all looks really good.
It tastes damn good as well. You should try some.
I'm going to try it a little bit whenever I'm trying to.
Yeah, we're looking pretty good.
So, Mum, are you plating up?
No, we're just, Dad's eaten some of the pestos we've got on. He's had some of the carbonara. We're saving the soup for tomorrow.
Yeah, he's starving, he is.
He hasn't eaten for a week.
Saving up?
Yeah, it's very nice. I really like the carbonara.
Great.
Wow.
Dad, have you eaten your soup?
No, I'm going straight for the, I went from the starter to the carbonara.
Oh, I'm going to dig in. That's the one I'm desperate to try.
But the wine's very nice as well.
Oh, well, looks great. Look at that. Everything came out awesome.
Oh, there looks Chris and Kendall.
Looks very good.
Wow.
On point.
Ah, looks fantastic, Alex.
Excellent. Yeah, looks great.
Oh, and we got the mousse. What about the mousse?
Oh, we don't
That
want
was
Oh, yeah.
the set, I think, so.
So I top mine off with some whipped cream in mine. But you don't have to. If you don't have any whipped cream, it's okay.
I think we need
I did some
to.
chocolate. I did some chocolate on top too. That was
Yeah,
the extra whipped cream
Buy a
in
bit
mine.
of whipped cream to put on top, but
That's yeah. I just happen to have some of the canned stuff already, so I cheated a little bit. But all right, everyone's looking really good. I can see everyone looks nice. Yeah, looks great.
the reason you didn't see our pesto was because we've eaten most of that already. So
That's fair.
that was already gone. But
That was the whole point. You were supposed to be eating that while you're cooking, so
The carbonara is delicious.
The carbonara
good.
is delicious.
awesome. So glad.
Oh, fantastic.
That was very fun.
Mark and Emma, do you need anything else, or are you all good?
Yeah, we're all good. It's looking pretty good. Really good.
Because I feel like potentially we should let Alex go at some point.
Yeah, Alex, that was really good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you guys like everything.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. It was fun. This
You
was
should
fun.
do this more often for people. I think that's a fun
I agree.
thing.
I definitely need to. Yeah, this is fun. I definitely got to start marketing this along with all the other stuff I've been doing through the pandemic and everything. So, but yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So,
this was great. It was so good for us all to kind of do an activity together, and yeah, I'm so pleased we managed to work this out. So thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being my first students, and this is like the first cooking experience I've been able to do without a mask on for a while. So it was nice to do this. So.
Were we good students? That's the question.
Yeah.
You guys were great. You guys kept up. I mean, I was hoping to keep the time down a little bit. I didn't. I guess the moose was a little more problematic than I anticipated. But I mean, it was, yeah, you guys moved along fine, especially with not being able to see everything for the most part, and it was great. So, and obviously you guys did awesome because you said the food tastes good, so that's great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoy your mornings and your nights and afternoons, whatever time it is where you guys are. So, but I'll let you guys go and let you guys eat. So, yeah, thanks again for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mm.